So, one more on relationships. Sorry, I look like a transgender nun. Well, not entirely sorry. You saw me adjusting it. I'm just out the bath, and I thought I'd better say something while I was in the mood because thought about it earlier. No, it's not there, but there is something more Pluto wants to say. Pluto has stood behind me for a long time. He's opposite my sun in my chart, quite widely, but he's definitely there. Always saying, claim what's real, claim what's yours. That's what Pluto does. Now, I talked about Pluto in the seventh house, but let's move on to the eighth because that's Pluto's special territory. That's Scorpio's house. It's the house where you merge. Now, I don't think Pluto merges, but the sign he rules merges because planets and signs aren't the same thing. But we'll come back to merging in a moment. What I want to say, damn my nun's habit. That's better. What I want to say is that, excuse me, in a relationship, you are fully responsible for yourself. You are wherever you are in life. But so often we lean on someone. That's what we do automatically. That's half the reason we're in it, is to find someone to lean on. And then it comes apart when something in us stops wanting to do that. And part of us does still. So we're in this kind of conflict. Shall I stay or shall I go? Yeah. Or can I talk about it? Or maybe not. So that in a way is the main point I want to make. You can't be in a true relationship with someone unless you are fully responsible to yourself, for yourself, or at least to that degree, because none of us is that all of the time. It's more an aspiration that we need to be at least some of the time. And we need to kick the props aside, like relationships, like alcohol, like sugar, all those addictions. Yeah? They're kind of like a search for spirit. They're a search for wholeness. Now, people like Rilke and Gibran talk wonderfully about what relationships can be like. Gibran talks about, he says, let there be spaces in your togetherness. And he's quite right. Yeah. He says something about, let's eat at the same table. We'll each eat our own type of bread. And yes, he's quite right. But how good was he at it? Rilke talks wonderfully about it. The poet Rilke. He may well be right, but he really couldn't do relationships. And maybe he just didn't meet someone who's up to it. I don't know. But often, the people who have good things to say about things aren't necessarily very good at it. Yeah. There's often something they haven't sorted in it. Like me. Yeah. 7 years on my own. I'm not complaining. Yeah. Because I know it's not a simple thing. I know there's a way in which I'm not going to be allowed to go there. It's kind of my fate. The universe stroke something deep in me. It's all the same thing. Isn't going to allow that to happen until I'm fully standing upright. So this is what power is. Power, Pluto. That's the connection because I'm still talking about Pluto. Pluto, our power is nothing other than taking responsibility for yourself. The other person might want to dominate you, but if they do, it's because you let them. They can't actually dominate your soul unless you collude with that. And what you might do, you might have a tendency to do that, and so you end up with someone who wants to do that, and it's all unconscious. But it's exactly what you need. Because it will be so painful eventually being in that situation where you can't say the words you want to say. You can't do the things you want to do because it just feels impossible. You'd feel too guilty. Eventually, you can no longer stand it. Eventually, you rise up. I don't know how I want to live, but I cannot live like this any longer. That is the voice of Pluto. You may not have the reasons for it. And the other person may be able to dance around you with reasons. And you just have to, and tell you why you're at fault. And you need to sort this out. And you need to sort that out. It's you that's the problem in this relationship. They might well convince you of that, and they probably sincerely believe it. But there's something in you goes, no, no, I cannot do this. I haven't got the reasons. I just know it's what I have to do. One day, you finally knew what you had to do, and you began, though the voices all around you kept shouting their bad advice, though the whole house trembled, though you felt the old tug at your ankles. Mend my life, they cried. But you didn't stop. You knew what you had to do. And so it continues. Yeah. It's a poem by Mary Oliver called The Journey. Yeah. This woman stepping out into the world, or a man. Yeah. And slowly you recognized a new voice that was your own, that kept you company as you strode deeper and deeper into the world, determined to save the only life you could save, which is yours. Yeah. So we're here to save our life. The other person is not responsible for you. You're not, if they're not feeling good, it's not your responsibility to make them feel better. And it's not their responsibility to make you feel better. Of course, you hope they will listen some of the time. We need that kind of human company. If they won't listen at least some of the time, well then why are you together? Yeah. Habit. Expectation. All of those sorts of things. But you know what it's like. Someone comes to you, oh, this, that, and the other. And the immediate response is to offer a solution. I think men particularly do this because we don't know how to listen very easily. Yeah, we can be up in our heads, planning and making the world work. And if there's a problem, well, here's a solution. That's just how we work. There's nothing wrong with that. We need people to do that. Engineers do that because they build bridges. But in human relationships, don't offer solutions. That's not what the other person needs. Because they've probably thought of them anyway. They're not idiots. Yeah. Unless they really ask you, your only job is to listen. And if it will help, maybe repeat back your understanding of what they've said. Not like one of those therapy exercises. Oh God, no, none of that. And don't put on that listening face that people do when they're in counselling mode. It's like no, just be natural, just be real, but take it in. Because we need to talk. We need to talk about everything that's going on in us. And the reason I'm doing this particular episode because I was feeling fucked off this evening. I'm still a bit fucked off. I'm in Scorpio territory. It's like, yeah, I'm fucked off. I put it on Facebook. I'm feeling a bit fucked off. Yeah. I don't want any solutions. Yeah. I just need to be able to say it. That's Scorpio territory. You just talk about all the bad shit. Bad shit as well as the good shit. Yeah. And it's just normal and it's natural and it's everyday. So in a way, that's the 8th house territory. The 7th house is Libra. Yeah. That's where you're drawn into each other. That's where you show off. Yeah. That's where you put on your peacock feathers if you're a man, etc., etc. But then the exchange has happened. You've agreed you're together. And you enter the 8th house of Scorpio territory, the house of the bedroom, the house of sex, where you literally physically merge. But also there's a deeper emotional touching, isn't there, as well, which is hard to understand. But I think really what that intimacy is about, all that intimacy is about, is that ability just to be fully yourself with someone. Yeah. And if you're in a bad mood, you can just say it. You're not expecting them to sort it. Yeah. You're taking responsibility for it. You're not cursing the world. Yeah. At least not too much. And you can tell them everything about yourself. You're not holding any secrets back. That's what you need. And you need to not be judging each other. There's no great ideals. You just need to be yourself. And that's the beauty of it. And that's Scorpio and Pluto.